Peace and bliss, peace and bliss, peace and bliss. So grateful that I can be here to share with you this. Hello tribe, and hello tribe. How are we doing out there today? I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all are feeling awesome. I hope you all are feeling inspired. I hope you all are feeling desiring, unconditional love, unity. I hope you guys are feeling empowered. I hope you guys are feeling resilient on this beautiful day, tribe. I am so happy to be here with you all. My name is Pharaoh Lionheart Tahar, also known as the Healing Alchemist. And today we are going to dive into a full show. And I'm going to be talking about a multitude of things. Heading into the new year, there are a lot of things that our tribe needs to know. And there are a lot of things that I am going to be very, very happy to share with you all. So, share this video out. I'm going to spend about 5 minutes sharing this video out to all of my groups before we dive in. I love you guys. I'm so happy to be here with you guys right now. So yeah, if you guys have anything that you guys would like for me to discuss throughout this video, any questions that you guys may have about the upcoming 2020 year or anything that may be currently going on in your current season, you guys can put it in the comments and I will answer any questions that you guys may have. As you guys are entering, please say hello so I can wish you guys peace and bliss, and hope you guys are having an awesome day. Gonna share the video out. Shafiqua, how are you, Queen? Peace and bliss to you. Please say hello as you are all entering. I hope you guys enjoyed your holidays. Hope you all have enjoyed your 2019 year. Alicia, Dreamus, peace and bliss to you kings and queens. Share this out to a few more groups before we get started. You guys, please help me get this video out by sharing this video. Hit that share button for me, please. As we continue to grow our tribe, we want to make sure that we are using our communication gifts that we have been given to us via social media so that we can make sure we start channeling this collective conscious message as a collective consciousness. Dreamer said, sending love and light and healing, brother. Thank you so much, brother. I'm so happy you are here to fellowship this tribe time with me and all the rest of our tribe today. I'm going to get started in about 5 more minutes. So kick back, relax, enjoy the show. Hello, hello, hello. As you guys are all entering, NWA Ada, peace and bliss to you, Queen, Kings, everything in between. I'm actually really excited about this this live today. Most of my lives, as of recent, have been very rushed, in my mind at least, just because I've been having a lot of work that I've had to tend to, as far as preparing this new awakening phase that we've been undergoing. Working a lot with dark energy, and that takes a toll on you. So I'm going to dive into that a little bit more in about 2 more minutes. Give everybody a chance to join in. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and dive into this. Are you guys ready? I'm so happy to be here with you all to share this this new information with you all. We are actually entering into a very, very exciting time. Consciously, galactically, physically. And the reason why is because what we are experiencing right now is a planetary integration, where what's going on is all of these worlds that have been separated, the world of the light, the world of the dark, the world of the living, the world of the dead, the world of the high vibration, the world of the low vibration, they're all merging into one world. And that's a very, very exciting time for all of us. So, the first thing that I wanted to kind of dive into is where we are as far as ascension. Where are we as far as ascending, as far as this planetary shift in consciousness? Where are we on that phase right now? Then next I'm going to read our daily astrology reading, because we have entered into Mercury has entered into the time of Capricorn. And so that means a lot of things are going to be shifting for those who have been working on their egos, and also those who have been working in the light. So I'm going to touch on that as well. I'm also going to touch on a few projects that I'm working on that I believe that as a collective we can move forward together on this collective conscious movement to actually assist the planet in healing and being able to unify this planet so that we can all ascend together. So with that being said, for those who may just be coming in, I want to ask you guys, what is ascension? What is this process that we're undergoing right now? For those who don't really understand ascension, or what that word even means, what ascension basically is that it's a time in planetary history where the organisms on planet Earth began to rapidly increase consciousness, to the point where we all began to shift, and we go from being single-celled organisms to multi-celled organisms. We began to go from being going from a dualistic mentality, a dualistic consciousness, and to a neutral consciousness. What does that mean? It means that we go from looking at things as either or, good or bad, light or dark, high or low. We began to transition our consciousness from being those things into being light and dark, being good and bad, being high and low. So what ascension is really all about is going from the ors into the ands. And that's a very key thing, because we are so used to having a three-dimensional consciousness. Where in three-dimensional consciousness, we've got this path to take of left or right. However, we're all ascending into what is called fifth dimensional consciousness. And this is just the foundation of our ascension. But the foundation is fifth dimensional consciousness, where the light and dark merge together. The good and bad merge together. The high vibration, the low vibration began to merge together. As I'm talking, guys, please say hello as you guys are entering. Heather, peace and bliss to you, Queen. Lauren, Lady Tosh, peace and bliss to you, Queens. Thank you all for checking in today as we're talking about this ascension cycle that we're going through right now. So, with that being said, we're all on this journey of rapidly ascending. So, we had this growth process that we were undergoing just as we were growing up in this regular life. And then in 2012, ascension began to happen. Ascension is what the Bible refers to as the rapture, the end times. The Mayan calendar, the Egyptian calendar, the Greek calendar, they have all predicted this time coming. And now we have the beautiful blessing of being a part of this experience. So, what does this mean for you? Well, I guess to answer that question, it will really depend on where you are on your ascension journey. So there are a group of individuals here who are maturing in their light. These are people who are maturing in the greater good side of their life. The part of their life that is designed to be a blessing for other people. The sign of their life that is meant to be a service to the world. Right? So you have a lot of people who have been in this space for a very, very long time, where they're looking at how they could possibly serve the greater consciousness or serve our planet. Right? So that's one side of people. Hold on, my laptop is actually about to die. Give me 1 second. Beautiful. So that's one side of people that people are actually learning how to grow in that space. There are another side of people who are learning how to mature in their egos. Right? So the people who are learning to mature in their egos are people who are learning how to, for example, set healthier boundaries. People who are learning how to take the divine energy that is surging through us and target it using a selfish intention to manifest their purpose onto our planet. We've had videos in that selfish, and we remove our judgment from selfishness, because our selfishness is what allows us to walk within our purpose, right? So when we have this co-creative energy and we're just constantly giving that energy away to anybody who wants it, we're being selfless. But the byproduct of that is that we never actually have the energy that we need to do what we want to do, which is actually the energy that we are supposed to use to carry out our purpose and our mission on this planet. So we reach a point where we realize that in order for us to be our truest self, we must learn how to balance our ego to the point where we know when to be selfish, when to take care of self. Because at the end of the day, when we take care of self in the healthiest way possible, we take care of our reality. We take care of those around us. And so, the perfect example of this is myself, in the sense of I had to become selfish about the work that I want to do on this planet. And my work involves me teaching. So I became selfish about becoming a great teacher, because I knew that the more selfish I would become, the more people would be able to learn from me. And so there are a group of people who are learning how to integrate the healthy ego. Right? So there are people who are learning how to integrate their healthy light, and there are people who are learning how to integrate their healthy egos. What Ascension is about taking that light and that dark and bringing it together. Okay? And the reason why we are doing this is because we want to anchor in our light bodies. We want to anchor in our light bodies. Alright? Now, what is your light body? Your light body is what allows you to travel between the higher vibration realms and the lower vibration realms anytime you want to. Right? So, what does that look like practically? Practically, that looks like you having the ability to serve your collective, to serve your community, to serve this planet, and whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is you believe you're here for. Right? That's your light. Right? And you channel that light through your ego. When you channel that light through your ego brings you physical materialization. Your ego is what brings the wealth to you. Your ego is what builds and helps you accrue the resources that you need to allow your light to spread across the world. A lot of people in the past only had one side of this story. They only had the side of the light. And so what they did was they isolated themselves from their darkness. They isolated themselves from their egos because they looked at their ego as evil, or they judged it in a way to the point where they rejected it. So they ran all the way to this light. Now that they've been in this light for so long, they've got all these downloads and all these things that are leading them and directing them to their purpose, yet they struggle manifesting their purpose. They struggle putting practical action, into the works so they can actually manifest what they've been thinking of, right? And so that's what happens when we are out of vibrational alignment, when we are too out of balance, when we are too much into our light. We have the ability to think solutions, but we don't have the ability to manifest solutions, right? And then now we have the contrary. The contrary is being submerged in the ego, right? That's where the matrix system is built, the ego, right? So those are individuals who have been submerged in selfishness, and the byproduct of that is that they have the ability to create physical wealth. They have the ability to create physical materialization. However, they don't have the ability to use that wealth and that physical materialization to actually help them in their purpose in life, because they're too busy following other systems. They're too busy following other people, too busy following other lower vibration paradigms. So because they have not been able to ascend and be able to receive their downloads from their crown chakra, they're now stuck in the lower vibration realms. And so I wanted to dive into this very briefly because we see how you can be enslaved in your light just as much as you can be enslaved in your darkness, right? And so now 2020, right, this new year that we're entering into is all about bringing both of these worlds together. It's all about bringing both of these sides together, because when you do that, you end up living a balanced life, and that is your true awakened self. That is your true light body. See, a light body is half light and then half body, right? So your light is that high vibration, infinite co-creation energy that really surges through all of us, right? And so we take that co-creation energy and then we funnel it through our ego, which allows us to have our bodies which give us the ability to be satisfied, to be able to use these five senses so that we can experience pleasure, right? So we have half the experience, which is designed to give to others, and then we have the other half of our experience, which is designed to give to ourselves, so that we can constantly progress while also enjoying our experience simultaneously. This is what Ascension is. Melissa, peace and bliss to you, Queen. How are you? So happy to see you today. So glad you could have stopped in and say hello to me today. Lauren, peace and bliss to you, Queen. So happy you guys can be joining me as well. Share this video out. Share, because this is a planetary message that everyone needs to hear if they are ready to ascend to that next level of consciousness. All right? So now what I would like to do is I want to read to you today's reading. Well, really, a few days ago, I believe it was the 28th. So actually, yesterday, Mercury went into Capricorn. And so a lot of things shifted for a lot of individuals, and I want to talk about that so that I can guide you to this new season, because Mercury has been in in Sagittarius for a very, very long time. And now it's transitioning into Capricorn, which means a time for grounding, a time for speaking your intentions, a time for really, really tapping into your dark energy. So I'm going to read off what it says about Mercury going into Capricorn, and then I'm going to dive into what that means to us and what that means for our starseeds. So, as I read, it says, as 2019 comes to a close, Mercury, the planet of communication, will enter the sign of Capricorn on December 28th. Capricorn is known for hard work, planning, and practicality, so maybe we'll finally stick to our New Year's resolution. Mercury in Capricorn is a very pragmatic and reasonable preferring to analyze matters to a clear logical sense, never letting emotions change their opinions, and fact-fighting. The energy will be particularly apparent in the way that we communicate. When Mercury is in Capricorn, our communication exudes a collective energy in a reserved manner. The way we process information and the way that we communicate our ideas filters through a practical lens. Our mental energy shifts its focus and moves toward conversations that are goal-oriented and about the long-term future. Right? So I'm going to stop right there for a second. Now, what does that mean for us? So what that's really saying is that we're transitioning into a season where it's beneficial for us to be more into our healed, ascended egos, right? Because our egos are the ones that are practical. The egos are the ones that are able to take the high vibration ideas that we have. For example, the idea of healing our planet, the idea of becoming more health conscientious, the ideas of becoming more healthy diets, and our ideas of conserving our natural resources on our planet, right? So these are all the high vibration ideas that we got from being in our light. And so now, based on what our astrology is telling us, we're entering into a period where we're now going to have to be more practical with those ideas. Okay, so you say you want to create more resources for our environment. What does that actually look like? What part of the environment do you want to, have a solution for? What part of the matrix system do you want to have a solution for? Oh, I want to, focus on, making sure that we have better waste management. Okay, so what are the practical steps that you want to put in place to help you reach that goal? And then learning how to communicate that in a way that's very, very practical is the way and the key to us being able to actually create and build those solutions. This is very, very key for us because there's no point of having these downloads if we can't actually do anything with them. There's no point of having these ideas and these concepts of healing if we don't know how to actually physically manifest that healing to our planet. And so that's what this time is showing us. It's guiding us through this time where it's saying, this is how you actually make it. It's like you going into the kitchen and you say, I really want to bake a cake. It sounds good. I know it's going to taste good. I know everyone's going to be able to enjoy this cake. But if you never actually bring the ingredients together and start actually putting stuff together, then it's only going to stay an idea. Right? Now, what does this mean? This means that we want to learn how to get more connected to people in those lower vibration frequencies. People who are in the lower vibration frequencies, they have what you need. They have the solutions that you need. They have the resources that you need. They have the money that you need. They have the connections that you need to be able to move you closer to why you're here. But you have to now learn how to match their vibration. So if you're all the way up here on this vibration, this is a big game changer because a lot of people thought that being high vibration was the end game, but it wasn't. Because what happens when you're on this high vibration, but the money you need is on this vibration, right? What do? You have to learn how to lower your own vibration so that you can be at the level of the people who have the resources that you need. And then you can create that bridge so that you guys can now exchange those resources together. So now we see that it's not always about being high vibration. It's about having the freedom of traveling between vibrations so that we can always have the freedom of acquiring what we need. Okay? So, what does this mean for us? This means this is a time for abundance. This is a time for abundance for all of us. This is a time for us to learn how to perfectly match the vibration of the version of us that we want to hold. So it's about realizing that the vibration of stress, anxiety, depression, frustration, these are all outdated vibrations. These are all vibrations that keep you connected to the old world. Because a lot of us don't realize this right now, but the earth has split into two. the earth has split into two different worlds. Now, you won't feel this shift because the shift has happened consciously. And so what does this mean? This means there's a group of people on this planet who are living in the old world. And then there's also a group of people who are living in a new world. And these worlds are being split based on what you and the vibration that you as an individual are holding in this collective consciousness. So are you in a consciousness where you believe that the earth is getting worse? Are you in a consciousness where you're still stressed out, where you're having this anxiety, where you're having these panic attacks, where you're not taking care of your body, where you're making excuses why things aren't happening for you? That's the old world, right? So that's the old programming. And that is the world that is outdated and that it's actually being corroded and being destroyed right now. And then there's a new world where the solutions to how to heal our world are already being implemented. And the people who have the ability of healing the world are already coming together. And the conversations that need to be had to unify the world are already being had. And awakenings are happening all over the world. And abundance and physical wealth and play and relaxation and the feeling of purpose, the feeling of self-inspiration, self-empowerment. These are all the characteristics of the new world. And the world's already here right now. I'm already living in it. I'm not living in the old paradigm world anymore. There are certain things that people are experiencing in the old world that certain people are not experiencing anymore. Because we've shifted our consciousness to a new world, which now placed us on a timeline of a new world. So how do we learn how to travel to these different timelines? How do we learn how to travel our consciousness into these more pleasurable worlds? We do it with our feelings, because our feelings are a vibration, right? So the vibration, we remember that to become a master manifester, we have to remember that everything is about the vibration that we create on the inside. Look at that. Here we go. And so when we can create that vibration on the inside, and then we hold that vibration. So when we hold that vibration of abundance, when we hold that vibration of self-love and self-worthiness, when you ask yourself, how does it feel to be loved? How does it feel to be wealthy? How does it feel to be healed? Ask yourself that question out loud, and then describe the way it feels out loud. Speak it into existence. And then watch your body change its feelings. Watch your body changes how it feels in that current moment. Ask yourself, how does it feel to be in alignment? Use your imagination to imagine the version of you that's in alignment with this purpose. Imagine what the version of you who has millions of dollars in his bank account that can now use those millions of dollars to start creating solutions for our planet. Imagine how that version of you would feel right now. Describe those versions with your words. And then observe the vibration that's changing in your body. Observe how your shoulders begin to relax a little bit more. Observe how you start feeling lighter. And you start feeling like you want to smile. And you start feeling like this energy that's riling up inside of you. That is the process of creating the vibration. Right? So once you use your imagination to say, what does the version of me look like that I want to become? What is the version of me that's infinitely powerful? What is the version of me who is a master of my universe? What does that version of me feel in this moment right now? And then speak it. The version of me that feels like it's in alignment feels so powerful. I feel like there is nothing that I can't conquer. I feel like that anywhere I look and go, I have all the resources around me that I need. And anytime I think I don't have the resources around me that I need, it's only because I'm not looking hard enough. And that's a good feeling, because now it puts the accountability back on me to look harder at what's already there. And then I become grateful for what's already there. Because we remember that being grateful is the purpose, is the way that we hold vibration. It is impossible to be depressed and grateful at the same time. It is impossible to be depressed and grateful at the same time. It's impossible to be frustrated and grateful at the same time. It's impossible to feel inadequate and grateful at the same time. So what does that really tell us right now? That tells us that being grateful is easily the most important vibration to hold at all times. At all times. And so what does that do for us energetically? When we become grateful for the things that are already all around us, what we are doing is we're communicating to the universe what we want to see more of. We're communicating to the universe what to bring more into our frame of awareness. Because the reality of it is, everything is always here, always. Everything is always here, always. Light, color, and sound are all existing here in an infinite plane. So when we choose to become grateful for something, we're choosing to become aware. We're choosing to say, I am grateful for this thing, which means we're choosing to put our awareness on that thing. But when we choose to become awareness, bring our awareness to that one thing, we're choosing to tell the universe, hey, the thing that I'm focusing on right now, bring more of that into my reality. So if you want more love in your relationship, be grateful for the relationship and the love that you currently have. If you want to be great, if you want to receive more wealth and more abundance in your life, be grateful for the few dollars you have in your account right now. And truly be grateful for it. Truly feel the vibration of gratuity. Really feel that gratefulness inside you, because that's how you get more of it. Right? Now, with that being said, I'm going to transition now, because we've been talking about what Ascension is and where we're going and where we're heading as a planet. Now I want to talk about what's going on in our galactic history and what's going on planetary wise. So, for those who are my starseeds, my Pleiadians, my Aurorans, my Lyrans, my feline races, my reptilians, my Andromedans, my Archons, my Thundorians. These are all these higher vibrational beings that a lot of you all have never seen, never met yet. Well, as we are entering to this new era of ascension, our vibration as a planet is increasing. And so what does that mean? It means that we are going to be able to have better connection and physical connection with more of these extraterrestrial beings, because we are now going to begin to be able to match the vibration and to match the frequency that they're currently on. See, extraterrestrials are operating on a higher vibration than us because they're more spiritually mature than us. Earth right now is like a little baby in the retrospect of the entire planet. Of the entire galaxy. Right? So we're a baby. So just like when you were a kid, right, and you had all your little kid stuff going on, you had no idea what was going on in the adult world. You didn't know anything about bills. You didn't know how your lights were staying on in your house. You didn't know how you kept having food in your stomach. It was just you were in this state of like knowing that everything was going to be okay. You didn't really ask questions about it, right? Well, as you start getting older, you start becoming more spiritually aware. You start saying, oh, you start seeing more of the science behind how you've been able to survive this whole time. Like, oh, food is not just coming out of nowhere. My parents are actually going to buy it from the grocery store based on the money that they have from the job they've worked. Oh, so you start seeing more of a more mature world as you begin to ascend. Well, that's what's happening to us as a planet. As above, so below. So that means that we're also a very, very young race as a collective. We're so young that we still bicker and argue with other countries on our planet. The planet hasn't even gotten to the point of realizing that it's inefficient for us to have war and to have greed and to be selfish. We haven't even realized that it doesn't serve us as a collective because we are all one body. So imagine what happens if you were living in your own human body. Imagine what happens if you never gave resources to your legs. If you never gave vitamin to your legs at all. You never gave any nutrients or food or any energy to your legs at all. Right? Because you thought it was more beneficial to only give nutrients to your upper body. Like, how much sense would that make? Well, that's what we're doing right now as a planet. We've got a group of individuals that used to be only hoarding resources for themselves, starving the rest of the body. And now we're entering into this time where we're becoming spiritually mature enough to realize that that no longer serves us. So we're growing up. So congratulations. This is a very beautiful time. This is a very beautiful celebratory time for us because we're hitting puberty right now as a planet. We are growing and we're becoming these higher versions of ourselves. Now, what does this mean? This means that there has never been a greater time to do the work. It means that you cannot afford to bypass your work any longer. The inner work and the outer work. The inner work being looking at yourself and being honest with yourself as to why you are where you are right now. And that may be a good reason, that may be a bad reason. The goal is to remove judgment. Remove all reasoning and just speak truth. Speak truth about where you are right now in your life, because that is the only way for you to understand how to ascend beyond where you are. As we begin to speak our truths, we began to download the light codes that we need to liberate ourselves consciously, mentally, and physically. When we do this, our consciousness begins to emit these wavelengths of energy, and other people around us began to receive that energy. We began to literally create a ripple effect of liberation. We began to free ourselves through the vibrations that we're emitting inside of us, and then other people around us begin to free themselves based off of the frequency that we're giving off, that they now have the ability to accept. It's interesting because before I was about to start my live, I was about to take my shirt off because I always do my lives with no shirt on. But I intentionally decided to do my live with my shirt on today because I wanted this to symbolize a transition. Whereas before I was heavily engulfed in my feminine, where all I wanted my students to understand was the value of understanding the nature of true freedom. And that when you become free, you become a master of your universe, because you break down all limitations of what anyone has ever told you you can't do. All these limitations are just programs, and that we have the ability to accept or reject programming based on what type of operating system we want to be under. And so everyone was saying that no one's going to take you serious with your shirt off. I said I did not want to accept that programming. So I took my shirt off and I made everyone take me serious. However, I'm entering into this time now where I'm so secure that I have the ability to do whatever I want, however the way that I want, that I now want to show people how you also have the ability to go into these systems that you thought were evil, and go into these systems that you thought you would never be going back into, to get what you want out of those systems. See, most people who have the solutions to the healing that we need, they're afraid of going back into those systems. They're afraid of going back into their family life. They're afraid of going back into the 9-to-5 job life. They're afraid of going back into the corporate America space. They're afraid because they were a slave to it at one point. And so what this green shirt that I'm wearing is to embody is the fact that you no longer have to be afraid, because you are now stronger than you were before. You know, for those who have seen The Matrix, right? If you guys remember The Matrix, in the beginning, Neo was a slave to the Matrix, right? He was working in this system where he didn't know what was going on, so the system was just running like in the background while he was just living this mundane life. However, once he finds Morpheus, right, and Morpheus unplugs him out of the Matrix, like from that point on, he's able to go back into the matrix, but he's able to bend the rules of reality at that point. He no longer became a slave to it. He became a master of it. He became able to stop bullets with his bare hand. He began to have the ability of being able to fly, and to be able to really transcend the entire matrix programming. It's like that's what happens when you've been plugged out and you go back in. You now have control over the system that you were in. So there no longer becomes a reason to be afraid anymore. That's all old programming. Now you can be optimistic. Now you can say, okay, what resources do I want to get out of this system? We realize that the old system, the matrix system, the 9-to-5 working system, the ineffective resources that we have been spending, and the war and the chaos, that is all designed to be the foundation of the new world. We're supposed to look at that and as a metric of measurement to say, what can we do better now? Now that we've seen how things can be out of balance, now we have a point of reference of how to put things back in balance. We have to learn to be grateful for the dark systems. This is a part of 5D integration. Everything that has ever happened to you that you didn't like, everything that's ever happened to you that has hurt you, everything that has happened to you that has hurt our planet, was only designed to serve us. Because you would never know how to heal yourself if you didn't know how to hurt yourself. The hurting yourself gives you the point of reference of how to heal yourself. It gives you the contrast so that it allows space for a solution to be birthed. I hope this makes sense for you all. Share this video out if you have learned one thing from this video. If you learned one thing, that means someone else can learn one thing. So please share this video out so that we can get this message out, because it's time for us to all start being on the same page. Dreamers, I love you too, man. Crystal, I love you. Melissa, I love you. What have I been working on? So, for those who don't know, I've never actually said this before. But there are a group of individuals that are leading this ascension. I am one of those individuals. So what that means is, my job is to experience everything first, so that I can then guide and direct you all on how to not make the same mistakes that I did. So if you want to look at where you're going, all you have to do is look at where I'm at. Now, for any individual who is submerged in their ego, they'll have some issue with that. But if you are balanced and know right where you are, then you know that I am a tool that is meant to be used to help you get to where you want to be in the most efficient way possible. So where am I right now in my life? Well, we launched our essential oil business last month. We're making around $2,000 a day. We are opening up our new Ascension Church, Ascension Native American Church, which will legally give us the ability to hold plant medicine ceremonies in the cities whenever we want to and be federally protected. So we're going to start bringing healing into the cities. And now we'll have the financial resources to be able to do so. Our essential oil business is curing people with cancer every day, high blood pressure, diabetes, ulcers, liver disorders, kidney disorders. God literally gave me the cure to healing almost anything on this planet, and now we're sharing it with the world. We're delivering mind, body, and healing, mind, body, and soul healing, because we have manifested mind, body, and soul healing within ourselves. So our universe externally has no choice but to reflect the healing internally. That's so key. If you want to heal the world, heal yourself. Give yourself a point of reference of what healing looks like. You know, the problem with most people and why they don't heal the world is because they don't know what healing looks like. They have no point of reference of healing. It's no different than a man who beats his wife but says, I do it because I love you. They think in their mind that they're loving, but they literally have no idea what love is. Therefore, they don't know they're doing it wrong. Healing works the same way. Heal yourself first. Heal your body first. Heal your mind. Heal your consciousness. Be able to say, I'm healed. Then you'll be able to say, oh, this is what healing looks like. This is what healing smells like. This is what healing tastes like. This is what healing feels like. Now I know, when I can look at my external reality, I can know when healing is being taken place and when it's not. But Biggie said it best. If you want to change the world, you have to change yourself. Or else you have no point of reference. I really want this all to sink in, so I'm pausing to let some stuff resonate, because I know for some people my downloads can be overbearing. So I'm learning how to be a better teacher, which is what came down here to learn. So many people ask themselves, or they say, I'm never coming back here again. People who believe they're not from Earth, people who know they're not from Earth. They were so upset about their experience, their earthly experience, that they said, I'm never coming back here again. They didn't know how many times they've already said that, and how many times they've already came back again. Because this experience is never fun when you're not aware that you are the master of your creator, or master of your reality. This game's not really that fun when you don't remember that you're the God. That everything in your life has happened because you ordained it, whether consciously or subconsciously. The game wouldn't be fun for anyone, because they'll be living in a world feeling completely powerless. But it's interesting, because once you realize you're powerful, you realize that the best way to be the most powerful is to realize that you are powerless. In the sense of your higher self, your God, whoever you want to call that, is orchestrating everything based on what you're vibrating. So you are equally as powerful as you are powerless. And that's why balance is so important. Because when it's time to act, there's no greater power than realizing that you are powerful. Because then you have no obstacles. But when things happen that are out of your control, you remember that there's power in realizing that you are powerless, in the sense that your higher self has a grand purpose for everything. And your only job at that point is to understand why it's happening, what's happening. It's realizing that you're trusting your higher self to write this storyline for you, because it sees more than you. It has a higher level of perspective than you do. So of course you would want it to write the story while you're actually living the story. Because if you're trying to write the story based on what you're living in the present moment, then there's so much you're not seeing. There's so much you're not taking into consideration. So you want to trust someone who can be in the skybox while you're on the field to make sure that it can call the plays and tell you where to go for the place that you can't see. So that's the time to recognize that it's a beautiful thing to be powerless in those moments. Because when you submit to the will of the higher in those moments, you realize you're actually traveling the most effective and efficient route to where you're trying to be. A lot of you all spirit guides are talking to me right now. They're telling me that I'm about to shake your world up. Your spirit guides are you. You've been so afraid of owning the power of being connected and being infinite wisdom. You've been so afraid to take control of that power that you split it into these different archetypes of people. But whenever you're ready to assume that power, and you're ready to assume that, you claim that energy from all of them and let it resonate within you, and realize that you are connected to infinite knowledge. You are that infinite knowledge. You are that infinite co-creation energy. It's all inside of you. One of the biggest things that we struggle with as human beings is receiving power. Because we want to have the strength to be able to overcome any situation, but what we don't want to deal with the resistance that's needed to build the strength to get us through every situation. At least we used to not. But now we recognize that when we ask for the strength, when we ask for the power, when we ask for the energy, we're asking for resistance. So when we can recognize this, we recognize that it's very similar to going to the gym, where in the beginning of going to the gym, it sucks because we're met with all this resistance and we don't really know how to deal with it. We don't really know how to deal with the fact that our body is sore and having to continuously do it. But once we start seeing the results, we start seeing the why to the resistance. Then the resistance becomes your friend. And so you then go into it with a complete different mentality. You don't go into the gym saying, oh my God, I have to go here again. Oh, this sucks. Okay, whatever. Let me just get it over with. You go into it and you say, fuck yeah. Let's go. We're getting big. We're getting stronger. We're getting more energy. We're getting everything we asked for. This is the price we had to pay. Let's do it. We know it's going to be worth it because it always is. I hope you all are having an awesome Sunday. Hope you guys are relaxed. Namaste, Trisha. How are you, Queen? I would love you guys to give me some feedback on what I've been channeling over the last hour. Anything that may have stood out to you that you felt was needed for you. If you could let me know, that would be cool. Because I can go in real smooth. But either way, I'm always giving you the truth. Yeah, I'm just giving you the truth. Yeah, I'm just listening to you. Your higher self's telling me what to do. 'Cause I'm just the messenger for you. The messenger for you. That's why I can't give it to you in twos. Had to break you the news that you are a God that is cool. Yay, Melissa! Melissa says switching between vibrations was powerful to hear today. Sweetheart, that's like the most empowering thing, because the only thing that we were supposed to be was free. So something was only bad because you were a slave to it. Because you didn't know how to release it, you didn't know how to grab onto it, you didn't know that balance. Almost like take marijuana, right? Marijuana is bad to some people who don't know how to balance it. To people who allow it to slow them down and not allow them to integrate it in their life in a healthy way. But once you have balance over it, once you have that control over it, you're now free to have unlimited access to it as much as you want. And that's the thing, when people realize that our entire life is about that, our entire experience is about learning how to balance, that we can have everything that we want through balance. And the key, this is another nugget, the key to creating balance, and this is why balance is so important before I even give this part of why the most key thing for balance. When you're having balance, you're having yin and yang together, right? So we lived in an era where we saw what happened when the masculine reigns with no feminine, right? Complete out of balance. Now, the part that you don't see is the entire era that was before that, where all feminine energy reigned. And what you had in that time was chaos. This time, we have an overstimulation of masculine energy. So what do we have? Slavery. So we see how both of those, without the existence of each other, create either chaos or slavery. But through balance, you have abundance. And so, what does that mean? The question is, how does the masculine learn how to integrate with the feminine? Because the feminine focuses on the journey. The masculine energy focuses on destination. How are they able to exist in the same time? That word time comes into place. See, time is a solution to everything. You know how they say time heals all? Listen to those words again. Time heals all. So what does that mean? That means that you can always have the ability to do whatever you want through time. You always have the ability to merge timelines. Always. This is the key to anchoring in Christ consciousness. It's tapping into the abundance frequency. It's like saying, oh, do I eat sweets or do I eat vegetables? It's like, okay, I'll wake up in the morning and eat only vegetables to detox my entire body. And then I'll spend the rest of the evening picking the fuck out because my body already has the nutrients that it needs and it'll be able to flush everything out of my body the next day. Boom. Abundance. Because you know balance, you can now have both every single time. You can always have what you want. Do I want to stay here or do I want to leave to another country? I don't know. Let's stay here for another 3 months and then leave for another country. Boom. Both. Using time, you can always have the masculine and the feminine. You can always have everything you want. And once you remember that, the earth becomes a playground for you. Boom, you're in heaven. Welcome, you're here now. Cool, caught you up to speed. Now you're learning how to play in this world. That's Ascension. So Trisha said, I am just observing. Observing is a very beautiful thing. Especially when there are times in our life where things are happening and we don't understand. So instead of us getting more and more angry and more frustrated, we just choose to observe. As we choose to just watch this as a movie. Where it's like, okay, I'm watching this movie right now, and I've never seen this movie, so I don't really know what's going to happen next. I don't really know what's going on. So I'm just going to keep watching. Right? So we have the ability of stepping out of our flesh and becoming the observer. And then when things start getting good and exciting, and you're like, oh my God, I wish I was there. Boom. Now you can tap back into your 5 senses again and be the beer. And so I say that to say it's a beautiful thing to observe, but never just observe. Remember, your goal is to be able to go high vibration, low vibration. That's the ability of going from observer to beer. That's what meditation does. Allows you to have the freedom of knowing when to be present and when not to be present. Because it's cool to be present when you're in the moments of life where you're able to feel the full experience. Like, it's great to be present when you're having sex. It's not the best time to zone out, right? But in a time where, let's say, you just lost your job and your car just messed up and you don't have the bills, that's the time to go into the observer. And what going into the observer allows you to do is that it allows you to hold the vibration that you need to allow your solutions to come to you in the most efficient form and the quickest way. The goal is to always hold the vibration. When you can hold the vibration, everything's always magnetically attracting to you that serves your highest good. Always. The only time your manifestations slow down is when you fall out of vibration. When you start getting into a lack mentality. When you start thinking you're not going to have enough. When you start thinking that it's impossible for you to accomplish these things. That's when you start falling out of vibration. So the manifestations that were on their way, the vibration that you were emitting was creating a signal for them so that they knew where to enter and where to come and what timeline to merge with. But when you start falling out of vibration, they don't know where to go, so they just stop. They're like, oh, we saw this GPS system that was guiding us, letting us know where to show up at. But now because you're frustrated or you're sad or you're depressed or you're anxious, you're falling out of the vibration, so now they have nowhere to go. So the goal is to always hold vibration. And you hold vibration by trusting. Because remember, your higher self is you. So if you want to know what God looks like, how do you look? If you want to know how God thinks, how do you think? So when you're up there, you just have to realize the only difference is that's the same version of you. It can just see more. That's it. It's you. It looks like you. It acts like you. It talks like you. It thinks like you. It just has a higher perspective. So when you recognize that that's the person writing the storyline, once you trust yourself, you no longer have a reason to worry. I don't worry about shit because I'm an excellent story writer. And when I do that, you sync yourself up to your higher self. And that's literally how you anchor in your light body. You start becoming connected so that you realize that just by being more in flow, you're actually creating your own storyline. Because that's the experience of being God. God wanted to do this. God wanted to create its own storyline simultaneously while living it, simultaneously while living through every single thing at the same time, getting the ultimate perspective of every single one's experience all together. Because that's what you would do if you were an infinitely powerful being that existed everywhere and everything at all times. You would create experiences for yourself. So you would create the experience of going from unconscious to conscious. It's no different than what a director does when he makes a movie. We're living in this dream, this God's movie of having this transition so that we can have an experience. We don't go to movies just to say we made it to the end of the movie. That's not the reason why we watch movies, is it? No. We watch movies so that we can have an experience. So we're in this life right now not to just make it to the highest vibration, because that's just taking us back to God. That's the end of the game. That's not the goal. The goal is to have balance so that you can live forever. So again, you're on this time loop, but that's just the beginning of your education. Once you realize the time loop going from dark to light creates an experience, but the goal is not to get to the end. The end just has to be a point so that you can have a journey. Your goal is to find a way to be at the balance where you're constantly in the middle, because now this is kind of getting alchemy 202. Once you can get in that middle space, you start being able to go in and start being able to go through other realities and other timelines and other alternate realities. You can go to the reality where a version of you exists where you're a unicorn. You can go to a reality where there's a world where you're in your own video game. There are literally these infinite worlds that you have the ability to tap into. That's like the multiverse. That's seventh dimensional consciousness. I've been there, but it requires a lot of training to get there. Conscious training. And the beginning part of that is learning how to hold vibration. What is your purpose? What is your purpose? What is your purpose? When you look at the end of your life, was it really worth it? What is your purpose? I know you're not perfect, because technically perfection doesn't exist. Breaking that illusion right now. Perfection does not exist. In order for something to be perfect, it has to be finite. So when I say perfection does not exist, it does not exist in reference to humans. Because humans are infinitely growing, infinitely powerful beings. So in order for something to be perfect, there has to be a point of reference to perfection. So in order to have a perfect cup, there has to be an example of a cup that says this is what perfection is, and then you compare every other cup to that cup. But because there's only one us, there's only one of our individual selves right now, there's nothing that it can be compared to. Therefore, the word perfection cannot apply to us, except by realizing that what we call imperfection is actually perfection. This synchronistic algorithm that we're living in called life is perfect because it's unpredictable, but it's predictably unpredictable. So, this is beautiful. Melissa, you said, when I asked you what your purpose is, you said to share the light that's within me within everyone I meet. Melissa, I don't know the situation in your life right now. However, that's interesting. Okay, so your spirit got you. Oh goodness. Okay, so Melissa, I need you to fine-tune your purpose. There are so many people who are in this illusion of purpose, and it's a byproduct of being too much in the light, to where the only reason why you have not is because you asked not. So when you say to share light that's within me with everyone I meet, every single thing that is alive is doing that. So what you're pretty much saying is my purpose is to be alive, which in aspect that's true. However, you start being able to gain more power and more co-creation energy, the more you begin to fine-tune what that actually means. And that's what, I'm not sure if you came on when we were talking about Mercury going into Capricorn, because it's all about being able to manifest based on creating detailed intentions with your words, being as specific as possible with your words, because that's what helps you create. So, Melissa, how do you want to shed a light within you? Are you just going to walk up to people and say, light, here's my light. You like me? Light. Share it with everybody. Or are you going to use one of your gifts and skills to attract them to you? Okay, she says specifically with kindness and love. Okay, beautiful. We're getting even closer. But you still got to be more specific than that. Melissa, I want you to imagine if what your purpose is was somewhere in corporate America, where would it be? What job would it be closest to? Describe that to me. Because that's getting as specific as you can towards how you're going to channel that light and love and actually make a difference. Like hippies have this consciousness of light and love, but it only stayed as a movement and nothing actually was built. They weren't able to manifest shit. All they had were really cool ideas because they thought their purpose was to share the light with everyone. And yeah, that's the case. But it's like, how are you able to build a bridge with the darkness if all you're trying to be is light? So the more you fine tune, and that's what requires you to dig deeper into your ego, tap more into that selfishness and say, what do you want? What do you want regardless of what everyone else wants? Because it's what's supposed to direct you. That's how you allow that Christ energy to flow. It flows through you. Yes, that light and love flows through you. But your ego gives it direction. Your ego shows you where to apply that co-creation energy, and that process, that dance, that's your purpose. So I want you guys to tell me what your purposes are, and I will communicate to you if you need to fine-tune them more so that you can actually curate the proper vibration that is needed to attract that lifestyle and attract that timeline to you. So Melissa said, people are so drawn to me. So I used it to be an example, a mirror for them. Okay. Again, let's go back into what that looked like in the corporate space. What does that look like in a business? If you were to build a business surrounded around your purpose, what would this be? By the way, I'm doing this. What I'm doing right now is called our Hero Academy, which we normally charge $250 a session for. But this is how we help you unlock your purpose. Make your love tangible through divine actions. Jeremy says, light is valuable, so you make it of value through your unique gifts. Jeremy, tell me what your gifts are, King. Everyone tell me what their gifts are. Okay. So let's see. Melissa says one of her gifts is uplifting depressed people. Okay. That's not your gift, Melissa. Your gift is how, like, what do you do to uplift depressed people? Like, what is it you're actually, like, you go around someone who's depressed. What are you actually doing? Are you saying that are you just conversing with them? Are you saying that I have the ability to raise people's vibration through my speech? Trisha, you said serving. How do you serve? Because for me, I could say your gift to me is not serving if you can't serve me by being able to do IT work. So IT work is what I need around me. So to me, that's what serving is. So you have to be able to fine tune what serving is for you. Like, how do you serve? What gift do you serve through? Right now, I'm serving you all, but I'm using my gifts. I'm using my gift of hypersuasion. I'm using my gift of being able to channel light language through vibrations of speech. I'm using my gifts of being a messenger. So, Jeremy said, healing and clarity with divine connection and guidance. Jeremy, what type of healing? How are you healing people? Like, what are you actually doing to heal them? Melissa says, confirms, yes, my speech. Okay, so if your speech is your gift, then what energy do you need to put towards exponentially manifesting that? Does it mean you need a bigger platform? Does it mean you need to be heard by more people? It doesn't mean you need to have a radio show, a talk show, a podcast. It doesn't mean you have your own live show, whatever that is. Tell me what that's going to be. Jeremy said, encouragement is the gift. Hope and high vibration. Okay, so Jeremy, are you saying that you're a life coach where your job is to motivate people? Are you saying you are just, being that person that someone texts back to? Like how do you use your encouragement? And then what do you encourage people to do? What are you practically encouraging people to do? Trisha, you said I'm serving my gift to help healing others. Trisha, how are you doing that? What are you actually doing? If I said I'm going to call you over to my house right now, and you're going to heal me. When you get to my house, what are you actually going to do? Are you just going to stand there? Are you just going to talk to me? Like, what are we going to do? Okay, Jeremy said whatever they need healing in, finance, physically, mentally, spiritually. Okay, great. So, are you saying that you have a program in place to where if I came to you, I would be able to increase my finances? So if I had no money right now, I would be able to get $10,000? Yes? No? That's how you want to think. You want to say, okay, physically, are you saying you're a physical trainer? And so if I want to heal myself physically, you have products for me to take? You have something for me to go through a healing process with? Mentally, do you have a course that I can take that will help me wake my consciousness up? So when you're saying you want to heal people, you have to start getting more practical on what that looks like so that you can fine tune and the reason you do this is because this is how you awaken yourself. Beautiful. Find some more music. Let's see. Let's do Enjoy, Chill Step. Okay. So, Jeremy says, yes, partly. I teach enlightenment and help them find their purpose and passion. That is beautiful, Jeremy. Beautiful. So now the goal is to become... So I want you guys to see how when we started off with everyone saying light and love, but then when we get down to Jeremy's like, yes, I teach enlightenment and help them. Okay, so now it's like, okay, do you have a course? So you say, okay, now you have this course. Now the course becomes your seed. So now that you fine-tune all the way down to what you're actually trying to do, what's actually going to bring forth that wealth, now you blow it back up. So now you say, okay, now we got down to the bottom. How can I take this seed and plant it where it needs to be to get me to where I'm trying to be in the most efficient way possible? So it's like, okay, do I need to give my course to people for free so that they can develop testimonials, so that I can start going to people and saying, hey, these people are saying that, I took them from 0 to 50K within 1 year by doing my financial program. Or this person had cancer and I was able to get them out of their cancer and now they're living this healthy lifestyle within a year. And they said I did it from them. I can do this for you for X amount of dollars a month. So Trisha says, I like to encourage others. Okay, so how could you turn encouraging others into a business? That's the question. And that's the way you want to think. Jeremy says the Serenity Project. That is a dope ass name. I would love to know more about that. I would love for some other people to write out what your purpose is. Because this is the reason why your life has never been in alignment. Once you get on the path of your purpose, like a flower's purpose is to be a flower. So once it's blooming, it gets everything it wants. Everything that you want is tied to your purpose. Ha! Beautiful! Oh my goodness. So Melissa says that my gift is that I can sell anything. That is beautiful. That's a beautiful gift, because that's a beautiful gift to be able to acknowledge, because you have the gift of persuasion, right? That's a beautiful gift. That means that you know the spells to speak out of your mouth to get people to do what you want. So, this is beautiful, because we start getting into the gene key nature of our superpowers, right? So Melissa has the gift of persuasion. So you can imagine the fact that she has that gift. That's a part of her genetic code of who she is, right? You can imagine the times in her life. You can imagine the times in her life where when she was out of balance and out of alignment, she was able to use that gift as a curse to manipulate people. Right? Naturally. When you don't know how to balance your superpowers, you use them out of ego. I'm going to get this person to do what I want, and I'm very good at doing that. I'm the same way. That's why I literally know all of this. So this is how you connect yourself to the world. This is how you start gaining access to your infinite power. You look at all the people in the history, all these Hitlers, all these Stalins, all these people who also had the same gift as you and also used them for ego. You realize that you could have been them. That could have been you in a past life. And so when you begin to look at life like that, you can take ownership of your own experiences. And when you take ownership of that, you gain access to that entire Akashic lineage. So you gain all the wisdom that came from experiencing that life where your ego was out of balance. And that's the reason why in this life, you have a hunger to use your ability to persuade people to be able to bring them into the new world, to bring them into that world of light and balance and love. So now we have that point of reference. That's why judgment can't exist in the new world. Because every time you judge something, you're rejecting a superpower. So Melissa, now as you identify that you have the gift to sell anything, now you have to ask yourself, what do I want to sell? If I could sell anything on this planet right now, if I had to do anything to sell anything, what would I want to sell? Use your imagination. So Jeremy says, I want to sell love and light. The concept, the picture, to reintroduce the world to dope shit. Okay. Cool. How do you want to sell love and light? Because love and light is not tangible. So what are you actually selling? Like, what are you actually selling to make, and how could you make profit off of it? And see, this is the part that light workers miss out on. Like, this is the reason, like, in order to truly be, like, for those people who call themselves light workers, right? You have to realize that name empowers you, but also enslaves you. Because when you don't know how to think about things for profit, you don't know how to take your ideas and work them into the ego to build physical materialization. So when you don't know how to take that energy and apply it in that dark, low vibration space, you never actually require the resources that you need to be able to build what you want. So like Jeremy said, I want to heal and uplift the collective so we can actually get to where we're going. Like, no one's, like, if you were trying to, imagine, Jeremy, if you were in a room trying to sell something, and you're trying to get people to buy something, by the end of what you're saying, people are going to look like and say, well, what are you selling? Like, are you selling a course? So it's like, what, like, really get to that point of tangibility. What are you selling to make profit? Because once you have profit, that gives you energy now that you can now use, and now all those ideas of love and light that you have, you can now build solutions for them. So Trisha says, okay, could you please tell me how I can switch my thoughts to business? That's a beautiful question, Trisha. Beautiful question. It starts with learning how to spend more time with your ego. This is how you shift it consciously. Getting more involved in your ego. The reason why your ego is so important is because your ego is what self-preserves you, because your ego is your five senses. So your ego is the way things feel on your skin. Ego is what you taste. Ego is what you smell, right? So your ego wants all these nice things, but all these nice things require money. So when you allow yourself to be led by the ego, the healthy ego, he starts giving you what you want, what satisfies you. It's the selfish part of you. So ask yourself, what do I want to do that does not give a shit about what anyone else wants to do? Period. And really sit on that question. So you ask yourself, how can I take my gifts, my talents, and my skills, and how could I make them into a business where I am selling something in exchange for a good or a service that is bringing profit? Money is neutral. Money has no consciousness. Because that's the case, money assumes the consciousness of the person who has it. So, if you truly believe you're love and light, then technically speaking, it should be your top priority to acquire all the money in the world, because according to your love and light shit, you'll know exactly what to do with it. So if that's truly what you believe, then you have to go into your ego and become as selfish as possible to get all the money that you can and then use it for your light. That's how you create balance. But you have to stop rejecting your darkness. You have to stop rejecting your selfish sides. You have to start rejecting the parts of you that like physical satisfaction. So this is why I teach Ego Boot Camp. And so it's like learning how to do activities that physically stimulate the physical body. Have more sex. Eat more junk food. Listen to more raunchier music. Listen to more music. Turn music up super loud. Do things that satisfy the flesh. Because when you satisfy the flesh begins to serve you. Dreamer says, money comes out of the air. Money is an extension of you. That is true, but just that consciousness alone will not get you money. Because, trust me, I have a business, and I will tell you that money does not come out of the air. Money comes in a form of getting shit wrong thousands of times, wasting money first, learning mistakes, putting in grunt work, having to stay up super late, getting frustrated with your team, then money comes. Because that's the vibration, that's that dark energy vibration that actually allows stuff to materialize. That's the work that when you're too high vibration, you don't see. So you just stay up there in the thought form and saying, yep, money is an illusion. Money is energy. It comes to you. It's an extension of you. Great, then why don't you have all of it right now? Heather says, this is a confirmation that I just had a dream about self-esteem and confidence. That's beautiful, Heather. See, we spent so much time rejecting our ego. We didn't realize, or we forgot, that the ego is still us. And so now we're having to pick the ego back up and brush the ego off and spend time with the ego, learning that it's not a battle with the ego. It's a partnership. It's a relationship. You guys are in together. So when you start bashing him for all the times you got things wrong, you guys start looking toward the future of working together. Hint, hint, how to heal relationships. And so when you can remove that judgment, your ego can now step in and serve you. That's why if you're ready to ascend, you gotta stop calling yourself light workers. That's why I said, a light worker, it served you at one point. When you were submerged in your ego, yeah, why not be a light worker? Cool. So you strive to learn how to balance that. But now you see what happens when you're too much in your light. So now there has to be a new word that describes the integrated light and dark. And that becomes the new I am. The power of I am. I am that I am. So, what do you call this new version of you? This is why at the end of our Hero Academy, you have a new name. You have a new superhero name. How do you think Lionheart came into existence? Lionheart is the balance between Darryl and Pharaoh. My ego and my light. They now create a new unified being that is both simultaneously. And that's what anchors in your fifth dimensional light body. Your light and your body. Your light and your body. Your light body. So, when you officially begin to call yourself a new name, you attract the vibration of your new name. This is why in the Bible, when Saul was killing Christians in the beginning of the Bible says that God blinded him for 3 days. When he came back, he said, "You will serve me," and then he changed his name to Paul. So there's a science, there's an alchemical science with the letters of the alphabet that each letter attracts an energy vibration. So the transition of Saul to Paul was transition of someone going from being only following the instructions of those who he was appointed over to now using his gifts to serve a greater purpose. Jeremy says the word becoming flesh. Yes, the word becomes flesh. The light becomes integrated with the darkness, the flesh, the word, the high vibration, the light, the flesh, the low vibration, the dark. They become one through speech. So, who are you? Who is your new self? Describe the characteristics of everything you want in your new self. And then sign that document with your new name. This is a good time to explain that once we get our entire planet on this frequency that we're speaking on right now, where everyone gets a new name, because see, the reason why everything is tied to documents, our social security number, our birth certificate and all that stuff, it's all tied to our name. That's what enslaves us, our name. But when you begin to act as a different name, you liberate yourself, okay? When that happens as a planet, we will be no longer held down on this low vibration. Well, we already aren't held down anymore on this low vibration frequency. So we've risen up now. So now our vibrations have shifted, they've elevated. The earth has experienced her kundalini. And so it's ascended. Now that it's ascended, it's like a child who's hit puberty. So it's growing really, really fast and exploding very, very fast in consciousness. When that happens, we're actually going to gain what is called galactic citizenship, where we'll be able to actually communicate and interact with the other extraterrestrial beings in more so their natural state. Because the reality of it is, they're already here. All the alien extraterrestrials, they're already inside you, they're already around you. They're just operating at a higher vibration than you, so you can't see them, but they can see you. As we increase our vibration as a collective, as a planetary collective, we will begin to see them and interact with them, and they will begin to teach us. And we will be able to exponentially learn a lot of things. That's why it's such a beautiful time to be alive. So if you strive to find the prize, you can eat a lot like you're at Five Guys. And every single day is like prime time. Yeah, you can share the limelight with everyone around you when the time's right. But until then, just hang tight. Be patient. Trust your highest self. It's amazing. And keep your feet on the ground. Hit the pavement. I'm never chasing. Melissa says, thank you for sharing today. No. Thank you for listening today. I'm just a messenger. Your higher self sent me. Your lower self received me. That's how that works. Remember, you did this. I didn't do shit. You did this. You did this. You did this. You did this. Yeah, you did this. You did the shit right here. I'm so proud of you. I want to thank you for doing the work. I know it wasn't easy. I know I'm kind of cheesy, but when you get to heaven's gates, you can meet me. I remember the time when you used to be greedy, and when the time you couldn't hear me. But now you realize that I am the real prize, and now we can realize that I am and you are, and together we can go far. Namaste, my brethren. Welcome to heaven. And thank you for listening. I am the Reverend. And this is entertaining like my name was Cedric, the entertainer. I didn't need to explain that. Never retainer. Comfortable stranger. Would you guys want to hear me rap? I'm not sure if you guys saw, I did a freestyle to J. Cole's song Middle Child. And if you guys haven't heard it, I would love to perform it for you right now. So if you would like that, just let me know in the comments. Hand in hand to the promised land. Amen, Jeremy. Hand in hand to the promised land. Take my hand. Take my hand. Jeremy, I swear to God, I think you just be the reason I'm going to make my next song. Like, writing that down right now. Thank you, Jeremy. You're getting credit for that. That will be a #1 hit. I fuck with that. Hand in hand to the promised land. Ooh. And Jeremy, you are the man. Alright, Jeremy said rip it. So let's see. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Alright, let's see. Alright. Found it. Y'all ready? All right. I'm a zombie because I want the brain. Multiple choice, I do not explain. Stay ahead like road gang, king of the hill, no propane. People stay and try to ride the wave, but get washed out like a soap stain. I'm just trying to win this whole thing. That's why a nigga been on the J. Cole train. I never beef with old flames. Stay in the loop like a nose ring. While I'm linked up with like 4 gangs that's all telling me the same thing. I don't gotta explain a thing. I just gotta give them a name. They'll run up on you while you in the rain, and they'll tap your ass like Pootie Tang. I hand on my net like a tennis racket while I'm using you niggas for target practice. Back to Mickey D for some ketchup packets. Guessing who next while I pack the ratchet. I pass her balls like a hacky sacky. She a good girl, always acting classy, so I give a dick when she acting sassy. Always coming back, that's why I call her Lassie. Loud on the beat like when hands get to clapping. Listen to me like a phone you was tapping. I'm just a nigga with hella compassion. My plate is full, so I'm handing out rations. Stay losing count of the check that I'm cashing. She like how I beat it like I'm Michael Jackson. Please line it up in an orderly fashion. You work a job, but what is your passion? Got a little tipsy, don't know where my car is. My queen is on fire like I yelled Jakaris. This is a game and my game ain't for taking. You need set of skills like that nigga from Taken. Life is a movie cause all of y'all faking. I want some ganja, I call my Jamaican. I'm in the ear now, I got her heart racing. I'm burning her up, now she calling me Satan. I'm never running, my demons I'm facing. See my reflection in them, it's amazing. Shattered illusions, my feet hit the pavement. My fear started running, so I became Jason. That was on Friday, on Monday I'm waking. I took my bitch to the oven, we caking. I took a blunt to the head, now we baking. Here's a plan for the money I'm making. Gonna invest it in all of my people. Break every illusion that say we not equal. For those who forgot that the earth is our teacher, I see the game like I think I'm on bleachers. Walk in the room, they say I broke the heater. Walk in the room like I had to lead him. Like I'm Cousin Skeeter, come from the future like Zetas Lapidus. That was from Xenom and she was the cutest. Found my nirvana, but I am not Buddhist. That's just an option of how you could do this. I'm in the pudding, cause that's where the proof is. Everything possible, shout out to Rufus. That from Kim Possible, stay breaking obstacles. I call her Bungee, she know how to drop it slow. She grabbed the swisher when we at the stop and go, cock, cock, cock. Cause that's how the chopper go. But I'm all about peace, giving hugs on repeat. But then I cannot speak about the goons around me. Cause they are not scared of you. They'll put a spell on you, making you become a better you. Having you come on a better you. Them thinking it was up to you. Really though, we was ahead of you. We died instead of you. Always want to see the best in you. It was my job to keep testing you. So you discovered the God in you. Power is all in you. Now you can see I've been calling you. Cause I'm just a messenger. This is my regular. Oh, you got Reggie, bro? Don't hit my cellular. I'm not gonna settle until I'm on Ellen and we rolling doobies and talking about heaven. I'm not a man, I am a God, is a difference. You know the story, used to be Christian, then I started peeping, something was missing. We are energy, light, and frequency. Pioneer with the path to a real of me. Now I feel like it is three of me, it's like a trilogy. Ain't no fear in me, wisdom endowed like grandmother willow tree. I am the messenger, hope that you hearing me. People awakening, mission is clear to me, yeah. I just read something in a book. Like my higher self brought me the keys, yeah. Used to being judged by all my peers. Now a nigga live without no fears. I just read something in a book. So that's the song I've been working on. Still stuttered on a few parts of it, but you get the gist of it. Got a lot of music coming soon. I am like a super perfectionist, so it's taking an extremely long time to get all these songs out. But I'll be putting like a whole album together. So I love you guys. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I like you all. You are a tribe. This is what I do. This is what we do. We unify, educate, co-create, and look how much fun we have. That shit wasn't hard. That was like a quantum leap. You guys just literally quantum. If you guys was listening to the last 30 minutes of this, you guys quantum leap about 20 years in the future. So welcome. Download your new consciousness. Remember that you are the master of your reality. Remember to hold vibration. Remember to feel abundant. Remember to speak abundant. Remember to only speak what you want to manifest in this experience. Remember, we no longer speak about what we don't want, because what we don't want is just creating our subconscious energy to create that thing. We only speak on what we do want. So from now on, we only speak on what we want. We only speak on solutions and healing. And we'll watch our world shift to reflect that. Love you guys. Like you guys. Like you all. Peace.